So welcome, Duncan. Tell us something more about you.
Yes, I came into IBM through an acquisition. Been practicing mindfulness and meditation about 30 years, I guess, privately. Helped found a mindfulness center out in British Columbia. And then a few years back, I was on assignment in Brazil. Now I'm back in Canada working with Julie and Christine on the Canada Mindfulness.
Is there any difference between mindfulness practice in Brazil versus Canada?
It was quite interesting in Brazil. People are really enthusiastic. Oh yeah, Canada's very, very different. So there's mindfulness rooms in 17 locations across Canada. And there's a wiki and there's 15-minute sessions every week and so forth. So in Canada, in a way, it's more organized. And the great thing is we're sort of much more tied into the structures, and I've got some funding to do some great stuff.
And you are probably the first guest we have that went through an acquisition. So did you practice mindfulness already before?
Yeah, for many years. And that was certainly helpful during the acquisition. Having a mindfulness practice is really useful in times of big change. Just in terms of the stress of changes, just being more present with what's going on, less wasted time on kind of fighting changes that are going to happen. I think mindfulness really helps build resilience generally. And also, I think mindfulness also just gives you a little bit of space to step back. So it gives more space for some creativity and just looking at the bigger picture, the sort of growth mindset rather than, oh my God, what's changing? And
you've been practicing mindfulness for many years now. Have you noticed changes in these past 30 years?
I think there's been a big shift in culture where it's much more mainstream now, and people really, like, there's so many distractions these days and everyone feels like they're running and stressed all the time. I think the needs become much greater, and the awareness that it's not sort of some strange thing that anyone can do it has grown a lot as well. So I think both personally and what I've seen changing in corporate culture is things are getting more integrated.
Right. Did you ever get some pushback from various colleagues and people around you?
Yeah, definitely. It was quite fun in Brazil when we tried integrating into the standard 3-day manager training. Everyone was kind of joking around thinking we were going to be sitting in full lotus and saying Om and levitating, just explaining what it was and doing simple practices together and showing how that's really relevant. We did like various practical exercises and integrated it into the manager exercises. So people, I think, just really then saw it's not weird and it's not strange, and it's just really practical and really a necessity for managing in a modern day setting.
Do you have any best practices or tips for getting started?
In mindfulness practice, there's what they call sort of more formal, where you're kind of sitting down for a few minutes and breathing, and informal, which is kind of things you use during your day just to help you be more present. What I notice a lot with my team and walking around the office is posture. So I like a few simple exercises around posture, and particularly the eyes, one where you're just staring at the screen and typing. And you get that kind of fixed mind state. So you can do very simple exercises that just kind of loosen that and bring a bit of awareness. What I like is you just put your 2 fingers in front like this, and you're just gazing gently at your fingers. And then what we're going to do is we're going to open up the hands, and you just keep your eyes gently ahead and keep opening your arms until you're just seeing your fingers in the periphery of your eyes. And then slowly come back again. Just keeping the gaze forward. Just looking at the eyes. And then one more time. So you're just keeping the eyes forward. Seeing that fingers out of the peripheral. You can maybe wiggle your fingers, see if you see them. And then bring it on back.
You can move them around too also, right?
Yeah, that would be actually really fun, Pat. Yeah, that would be a creative way. So anything really that's, stretch. I like that. Anything that's stretching your eyes and moving in different directions is really good. It's relaxing, but also makes us more creative. Mm-hmm. Similar one is I like, especially if you're near a window, you can just kind of look at your hand closely and then just gaze out in the distance through the window. And then look back at your hand and then gaze out of the window again. You can also do it just looking across the long room. It's the same idea. You're just changing the focus of the eyes.
Mindfully. So like that in this case, it's thinking of the hand, right? And thinking of what we're looking at the same time. So like mentally being totally there, not only for the eyes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Everything.
Not thinking about your email while you're doing that.
Now I've been practicing for a while, right? 1 year or so. And I don't know how to move forward.
If you're looking to deepen your mindfulness practice, a kind of mindfulness-based or insight-based retreat that's just very simple on the breath is probably very useful. I work quite a lot in part-time in a retreat center, and we spend a lot of time setting up the space. So if anyone's done a retreat, when you come into a retreat center, everything's set up in the space and the environment to kind of support you to get a little bit of calm and to go deeper in your mindfulness. And we found that's kind of missing element that people often don't bring back into their daily lives or their work. So for example, you're at your desk, just really cleaning up your desk, putting a few kind of calming or beautiful objects around. That can just make a huge difference in terms of deepening your mindfulness practice at work. So simple things like that, I think, can be really important as well for helping people go a bit deeper and integrate more.
Thank you so much for sharing and being here with us. It's precious tips and hints for everyone. Thank you, Pat, as usual. And for more, as usual, the present show is here. So comment if you would like to know something in particular. Otherwise, see you in 1 week with an update of our episode. And thank you for sharing.